Okay, so in this lecture, let's work on fixing this password reset confirm view error which we are getting. So basically what this error says is that whenever you want to reset a particular password, you actually have to pass in this particular URL right here, and you also have to use that view as well. And if you take a look at this URL actually contains the name of a protocol, which is HTTP, and the domain name of our website. So currently we are using localhost. And then it actually accepts a URL pattern, and that URL pattern is nothing but it's basically the link which says password reset confirm. That means we now need to set up a URL pattern for password reset confirm, and then we also need to pass in a UID which is having a base64 encoding, and we also need to pass in a token as well. So now the question is how exactly this could be done. So in order to do that, first of all, we need to add a password reset confirm view. So in order to add that, let's actually go back to VS Code, and here let's add another path. So I'll go back here, add a new path here, and this time in this particular path, let's keep this path as empty. We are going to set it up later, but for now let's use the auth view, and let's see if we have something like password reset confirm view. So I would type in password reset confirm, and we do have that. So I will use this thing as view, and once we have this thing as view, let's name this thing as password reset confirm. So password reset confirm actually ends up being the name of that particular URL path. Okay, so now for this particular path, we need to set up a URL pattern. So as I earlier mentioned, this URL pattern needs to have two parameters. So first parameter needs to be the UID, which is going to be of base64 encoding, and then we need to pass in the token as well. So in order to pass these particular parameters here, I'll first set up the path. So let's say this is reset / let's pass in the UID first. So UID base64. And then the next parameter which we want to pass in here is going to be the token. Now just as we have passed in the template for this view, we also need to pass in the template for this view as well. And this view is nothing but it's simply a view which actually renders out a form which asks us to enter our new password. So for example, whenever we want to reset a password, we type in a newer password, and we also confirm that password as well. And that's exactly the form which this particular view renders. So here let's create a template for this one, and as usual, you know, creating a template is quite simple, but this template is going to be a little bit different. So let's create a template, and this template needs to be named as password reset confirm.html. And then in this particular template, as usual, you have the block body and end block which you have. So let's copy the code from here, paste it up over here, and instead of this one, let's have a form. But even before presenting them with a form, we first need to check if the URL which is being passed is actually a valid URL. And in order to check that, we have to make an if statement here. So we say if the link is valid, so we say if valid link, in that particular case, only then render this particular form. So we will also end this if statement as well. So end if, and then let's render the form right here, and the form method is going to be equal to post. So the method is post here, and then we as usual have the CSRF token. So CSRF underscore token, and then we render the form as paragraph. So form.as underscore p, which is as usual. And then once the form is rendered, we also need to have an input type submit, so as to submit the new password. So this is going to be submit. And if this is not true, we also need to have an else here, which basically states that if your form is not being rendered, that means the password reset link which was sent to you is actually invalid. So here we say else. I want to render this thing which says password reset link is invalid. Okay, so once this thing is done, we are pretty much good to go. We now need to pass in the name of this template to this particular view. So here I would say template name is going to be nothing but password reset confirm.html. So now let's go back here and let's see if we still get that error, and if we still get that error, we are going to fix that later. So for now, let's go back all the way back to password reset. Let's type in the email here. If I click on submit, as you can see, now we do not get any error because we have now added the password reset view, and we also get a message which says we have mailed you the password reset link. But technically you won't get an email because we have not configured it to send an email. Instead, we have configured it to send an output in the terminal. So let's open up our terminal or command prompt, whatever you're using. And here, as you can see, we get that particular reset password link in the terminal itself. So now let's copy the password, and in case if we have forgotten the username, they will also display the username over here as well. So now let's copy and paste this particular link here. And as soon as I hit enter, as you can see, now it says we do not have a template which is password reset confirm.html, but we do actually have that. Okay, so we are getting that error because we have not mentioned users here. So if we do that and if we hit refresh, as you can see, we actually get that password reset confirm page, and here we have to type in the new password. So let's say the new password I want to set is super user, and I want to set the new password as super user, so I confirm it twice, and if I hit submit, the password is actually reset, but now it's again going to ask us for another view which is password reset complete view. And the password reset complete view is nothing but it's simply a view which says something like, okay, your password is now being completely changed and the password reset process has been successful. So we simply have to create that view. So we are going to learn how to create the password reset complete view in the next lecture.